Welcome to another episode of Spirit God Communication through the Art of Divination, the podcast that delves into various aspects of spiritual connection. And today we'll discuss the mental and emotional well-being that goes into all of that. I'm your host, Bertina, and we're diving into a topic that affects many of us at some point in our lives: loneliness. We'll explore what loneliness is, its impact on our mental health, and most importantly, discuss effective strategies to overcome it. So let's get started. Now, this disclaimer is that I am not a mental health specialist anymore. So please, if this resonates with you, please seek counseling, seek help somewhere, and just reach out to someone, okay? We all get lonely sometimes. So let's go. Loneliness is more than just being physically alone. It's a complex emotional state where an individual feels disconnected and lacking meaningful connections with others. I know yesterday I was talking to my partner and he was like, it's really sad that you can be lonely and be sitting right here with somebody. We were talking about how loneliness can be experienced in this world where we're connected constantly, where social media portrays an illusion of constant interaction, where we are around a lot of people, but true connections sometimes just aren't there. We started talking about recognizing signs of loneliness in others because it's important for offering support and companionship. But while these signs can vary from person to person, there's a lot of things that we discuss that we will look out for our friends and family. The first thing we talked about was social withdrawal. Someone who suddenly becomes less engaged in social activities that they once enjoyed might be experiencing loneliness. They might decline invitations or avoid group gatherings. They might be someone who really was active, like at work, interacting with people, maybe interacting after work, and now they just come home and sit on the couch and just avoid things. They don't say that they're lonely or depressed or anything, but they just avoid it. And many times while sitting on that couch, they end up increasing their social media usage. While social media can provide a sense of connection, a lot of times when you use it too much, it becomes a substitute for real life interactions due to feelings of loneliness. This also has to do with computer gaming usage and other things like that, interaction, messaging, dating apps in general, because people feel like, I'm here, I'm talking to people, and then they begin to create who they want to be, but they really don't change who they are. They create a facade sometimes, which even makes them more lonely, even though they may have interactions on social media or in gaming. But then they just realize that that's not really who they are and people really don't know them. Which results in number 3, a lack of close relationships. If someone is constantly talks about feeling alone or expresses that they don't have anyone to confide in, it's a sign of loneliness. They're asking for you to talk to them. Someone who's trying to get your attention a lot. Someone who is constantly talking and even if it's not something that they're really interested in, but they just hang out just because. And it's okay to hang out just because, but make sure that we recognize that it may be loneliness and reach out a little bit and do some connections of closeness with them. A lot of people have a strange change in their mood. Loneliness can lead to mood changes, such as like sadness or irritability. They may show signs of depression. But if you notice someone who seems to be constantly down or emotionally distant, loneliness could be a factor. Many times there's physical symptoms that we don't know, and it's not sleeping, not eating the same, being stressed, getting grouchier at work, grouchier in general, stress levels going up where we usually don't have issues with stress. Or maybe they can deal with stress and now they can't do it at all. Another thing, whenever people feel disconnected, they have difficulty in focusing on tasks. Their mind wanders a lot. They have thoughts of loneliness. They begin talking about being lonely, and then they even have trouble trying to connect with others, and they have a hard time even saying that they're lonely at times. So what they end up doing is self-isolating, which, it's okay to be by yourself sometimes, enjoy alone time, self-time. But if you constantly avoid social interaction or you stop leaving your home altogether, that's loneliness that leads to depression. We talked about seeking attention because they honestly engage in attention-seeking behaviors because they don't have any real connections. Those that aren't connecting, they're isolating. They tend to have a decline in self-care. They tend to not take showers or bath as much. They don't keep their houses clean because who's going to come over? Who's going to see it anyway? They may not brush their teeth, get dressed even. They long for a connection. They may make comments. They may make social media posts or just memes. Or, just maybe they sing songs or write songs or write poetry. And it's all about that. So remember that these signs alone might not definitely indicate loneliness. They can also be related to other issues, such as severe depression, or maybe they are just self-aware and having a bad few days and they're trying to withdraw and get their self back into who they want to be. Just remember, if you do see someone or you feel like someone is lonely, just approach it with empathy. Just listen, offer your support, don't judge them, and just be there for them. But if you're concerned about their well-being, make sure you have an open and caring conversation with them about their feelings and experiences. One of the things that we can talk about is the impact of loneliness. It is profound. Research suggests that prolonged loneliness can lead to increased stress, depression, and anxiety. It's associated with a higher cognitive decline, cardiovascular issues, and even weakened immune system. You tend to be sick a lot. You tend to not feel well. It perpetuates a cycle of negative thoughts and behavior. That makes it hard to reach out to other people. It makes it hard to have genuine connections. And then it just cycles over and over and over. It impacts so many aspects of our lives, affecting not just our mental, emotional well-being, but our physical health, our spiritual sense, our relationships, including those with our family and our career. So we're going to look at a few of those right now. Mental and emotional impact, very simple, can result in depression and anxiety, low self-esteem, negative thought patterns, or stress. It can trigger chronic stress, which in turn can impact overall mental well-being. It can fuel negative thought cycles, causing individuals to keep looking or noticing their inadequacies. We all have inadequacies. None of us are perfect. This podcast isn't perfect. My voice isn't perfect. I may not like certain aspects about myself. But the thought patterns have to be, I recognize it, I let it go. As there's so much things that are so much better. But the negative thought patterns when someone's lonely, it just doesn't go away. It just keeps bringing in the perceived inadequacies. And I keep saying perceived because they may not even be real. They may be reasons for being alone. They don't like me. I'm stupid. I'm dumb. All of these things. I'm boring. And these are all perceived inadequacies. Please, 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 if you're thinking like this, please go see a counselor. I used to be a counselor. I used to really dread when they would make me go see a counselor because I'd taken on so much of my clients' stories and feelings and emotions. And they're like, you have to dump it off on someone else. And I thought that was silly. I was like, I'm not having any problems. I have lots of problems. I still do with some of the things that I heard, that I witnessed. I was a domestic violence and sexual assault counselor, intake counselor on the weekends. I was a drug and alcohol addictions counselor. I've worked with the homeless, and I worked with juveniles. And those are all situations that I've experienced at different times, but didn't realize I was experiencing it because I was so far deep into the loneliness and things before and didn't recognize it my own self. It all came down to feeling like there was nobody in the world, feeling like there was nobody there to talk to. Even when I would try to reach out to talk to someone, I would just blow it off. I would say something and then they would say something and then I would just blow it off, be like, oh, it's okay. I can deal with it. I'm tough. I still to this day have a hard time expressing anything other than anger at times, even with counseling, but it's better than what it used to be. And that's what you have to see, is that it has to be one day at a time. You can be lonely, as I said. You can be lonely sitting there with your partner. You can be lonely sitting there with family that loves you. And I know people go, well, get out of your head. That's easier said than done. It really is. It has a huge impact on your spirituality because it makes it hard to try to find a purpose or meaning in life. Kind of leads to a spiritual void. It disconnects you from people. And you're sitting there and you're thinking, okay, why am I living? Why am I here? Who cares? Who would miss me when I'm gone? But people would miss you. People around you really would. And a lot of times when those thoughts come, you end up bringing on the physical aspect. Your immune system begins to get weakened, so chronic illness, chronic loneliness, chronic just diseases in general. And when you don't feel good, you don't want to get out of bed. You can't sleep. Your sleep patterns are off. You don't want to get out of bed. When you do get out of bed, you have higher blood pressure, a risk of heart disease. Your hormones can be affected, which relates to stress, which relates to moods. And it all is just a vicious cycle. And then when you're not feeling well, it can impact your family and relationships. It can cause relationships to become strained, reduce emotional intimacy, which brings loneliness even more. Parents have loneliness even with their children. Sometimes they may become emotionally distant. They may not connect or support their children the way other people feel they should, or even how they feel they should, because they feel so lonely. This causes communication breakdowns. It makes it difficult to address a lot of issues. So at home, you're having a hard time with or without anyone. Spiritually, you're having a hard time. So you go to work. Your productivity begins to lessen. You have a decrease in motivation. You can't focus. You're not as efficient at work. You don't want to collaborate with others. Your overall job satisfaction keeps decreasing. You don't have social connections or networking. And then that affects career advancement, that affects growth, and then you get stuck in a job that you're not happy with. The point I'm making is that loneliness is interconnected. Someone experiencing loneliness at work might carry that emotional burden home, affecting their family and vice versa. This emotional toll of loneliness can contribute to physical health issues and then also impact your spiritual well-being. Whenever you begin to address loneliness, it requires a holistic approach that encompasses mental, emotional, physical, and social well-being. building and nurturing meaningful relationships, seeking professional help, engaging in self-care practices, and finding purpose through hobbies, work, or spiritual exploration can all play a role in getting rid of the negative impacts of loneliness across these parts of life and creating a more meaningful life. Now, in help with overcoming loneliness, it does require proactive steps, and it does require a shift in your mindset. Become self-aware. Reflect on your feelings of loneliness without judgment, and understand that the underlying causes can help you address them more effectively. I know sometimes when we're self-aware, it seems like that we are complaining a little bit more, but in reality, we are aware of things that are going on around us. And because we are self-aware, we can reach out. We can connect with families, friends, even just acquaintances, and just say, hey, I'm having a crappy day today. I'm pretty lonely. Can you just text me for a minute? Can you just listen for me for a minute? I feel like nobody cares. Everybody thinks that I can do everything. But I need help. I need someone to help me. And that's all you have to say. Any friend or family will reach out and allow you to just express how you feel. Make sure you limit social media. Many times we feel like we're connected through that and we're really not. And then people start bashing and our keyboard warriors and they start all this crap, and it's just unhealthy comparisons against each other. It's unhealthy interactions. Set boundaries with social media. Prioritize real life interactions. In reality, if I didn't have this business, I probably wouldn't be on social media other than just to find out what's going on in the area, some information like this road is being closed or the snow day or something like that. Try to join some communities, even if it's like a book club or a fitness class, a volunteer organization. Just go out, go to the Humane Society and love on that cute little kitty because they need the love too. Just get involved. Zoom is okay if you can't get out, if that's just a first step, but get out of the house. And practice empathy with yourself. Treat yourself with the kindness that you would offer a friend. How would you treat your friend who was going through this? Now, it's okay to have time alone. Make sure, if you are doing time alone, you're having fun and activities that you enjoy. I love to read. I love to surf the internet, from like articles to read, videos to watch, fun things about topics that I'm studying. Just kind of shift your perspective from being alone to something rejuvenating. Hey, let's learn if you like to cook, a new recipe. And cook something really cool. Invite someone over. And as an adult, it is kind of hard sometimes to invite people over. My friends are always busy. If they're not busy, I'm busy. And many times we don't connect. We can't see each other. But don't ever feel like if you're someone's friend that you can't reach out and just text them. Have a short text conversation. That's better than not hearing from anyone for days. And of course, definitely seek professional help. They're awesome. They really are. And, you don't have to tell anybody, but I think we should normalize everyone getting counseling, and I think counseling should be covered by healthcare. It should be something that is right there with, going to the doctor when you're sick. If you're physically sick and you're mentally sick, there's no difference. One affects the other. But remember, you're not alone in feeling lonely. It's a common human experience. With the right strategies, you can overcome it. And it may take time, it may take effort, But investing in meaningful connections, both with others and with yourself, is an investment in your mental well-being. Most of you all can find me on social media. You message me, I will message you back. I will listen. You can email me at Bertina, Bertena, at Bertina.org. We can set up a time to Zoom to talk. Just remember that you have to be able to be vulnerable. And it's hard to be vulnerable sometimes because you feel like you're a burden on other people when you're lonely. And then when you feel like, well, there's no reason I should be lonely, I have people all around me. Remember, lonely people have people around them. It's the connections. I hope this has helped someone. I hope that if you are lonely, you'll reach out to someone and just say, hey, do you have time to talk? Can you share with me something cool you did today? Is there a new TV show that you like? And it's really hard sometimes because whenever we get caught up in our world and we're happy, sometimes we tend to forget those that were lonely with us, and we need to check on them as well. So it just takes two. I have a little list of people that I text every day or that I call just to check on. It's one of the first things I do in the morning because it makes me not feel as lonely and it makes them not feel as lonely. So start a little text community and see what are you doing for today? I hope you have a great day. Are you looking forward to anything? That's all you have to ask. But thank you for tuning into this episode of Spirit Guide Communication through the Art of Divination. I know it's a little different than the other things that I do, but loneliness affects your spiritual connection. If you can't find hope here, it's kind of hard to find hope after. But there is hope. There always is. There always will be hope. Please don't forget that. And please reach out to anyone that you know of that can help you. Speak your mind. Talk about how you are feeling. Keep a journal and help yourself see how your emotions and loneliness change. And remember, if you're having negative thoughts, just dial 988. That's a crisis and suicide lifeline. They'll be there for you. They definitely will help no matter what. If you feel like this podcast is helpful, share it with someone who might be in the same situation. And always just take care of your mind because it truly matters. Take care of yourself because you truly matter. Have a great day. And remember, we all feel lonely sometimes. Reach out. We are here for you, and we love you.